back. If you are new here, hello, my name is Sarah and I like to make YouTube videos. So for today's video, this is going to be so different from what I normally do. This is going to be my first baking video. I can't even deal. The lighting may not be as good as my normal videos because it was kind of like way too much to handle to bring in the professional lighting into the kitchen, but regardless, we're gonna bake a cake. So the cake that we're making today, I actually found the recipe online probably like maybe a year or two ago, and I've just kind of kept going back to it. It's so good. The recipe was specifically titled Cinnamon Swirl Bundt Coffee Cake. So if that means anything to you, let's get started. I've got all my stuff set up here, so I'm going to go over the ingredients that you're going to need. You don't really need too many things for this, but you definitely need some more specific things that maybe you don't carry already. For me, that was sour cream. I definitely don't buy a lot of sour cream, but for this you need pretty much the whole tub of it. So for the ingredients, you're going to want sour cream, butter or margarine depending on what you buy, eggs, cinnamon, flour, baking soda, baking powder, vanilla extract, and sugar. White sugar to be specific. I'm sure that you could maybe switch this out for brown sugar. I've only ever done the recipe with white sugar, so that's what I'm going to recommend. In total, this whole experience should only take you about an hour and 20 minutes, which is not too bad. The prep time is about 30 minutes and the actual baking time is about 50. So your absolute first step is going to be preheating the oven. If you're doing it in Fahrenheit, you're going to preheat it to 400. If you're doing it in, I think, Celsius, it's going to be 205. Alright, so you're definitely going to want a very large mixing bowl. I have the largest bowl that I own here because I've kind of realized that when it comes to baking, go big or go home. I've made so many recipes that I started off with way too small of a bowl. You have to switch bowls, you have too many dirty dishes to do, and it's just a complete disaster. So you want to start with a really, really big mixing bowl. This is going to be your main bowl that you're going to be keeping everything in before you put it into the cake mold. So our first step is going to be mixing butter with sugar. So you're going to want a 3/4 cup of butter, and it says room temperature. Mine just came out of the fridge, so I just heated it up a little tiny bit in the microwave. So you're going to bring in the 3/4 cup of butter. As for the sugar, you're going to take 1.5 cups of white sugar, mix that in, and then you're going to beat it around with a mixer. Now you could probably mix this with a hand mixer or a whisk or one of those big fancy machines, but I'm going to use a hand mixer because that is what I have. For our next step, you're going to want 3 eggs. I have here the large size. I think large size is pretty good. Now what you're going to want to do is you're going to break each egg individually and mix it in one at a time. So one egg goes in, mix it. One egg goes in, mix it. Last egg goes in, mix it. So your next step after all of the eggs are mixed in is your vanilla extract. So you're going to take your vanilla extract and you're going to mix in 1 teaspoon. So for next step, you're going to want to bring in a second mixing bowl. This is where we're going to be mixing all of the dry products. And then later, once they're all mixed together, we're going to mix that in with our big main mixing bowl. So to start off, we're going to want to get 2.5 cups of flour. Next up, you're going to mix in 1 teaspoon baking soda, 1 teaspoon baking powder. Mix it all together. So for our next step, we are going to add in the sour cream. So for this step, you're going to take your bowl of flour, baking soda, and baking powder and mix it in alternately with your sour cream. So you're going to need 1 full cup of sour cream. So what we're going to do is we're going to mix in a little bit of our powder mixture, mix it all about, add some sour cream, mix it all about, continue alternating until everything is in one big bowl. Alright, so at this point your batter is completely done, and we're just going to make a little extra something on the side that's going to go into the cake mold once we're putting it all together. So for this mixture, all you're going to need is a 1/4 cup of white sugar and a tablespoon of cinnamon. You can definitely add more cinnamon and less sugar if you like. It really just depends what kind of strong cinnamon taste you're interested in when it comes to sort of the middle layer of your cake. So mix it all together and set that to the side. So this is where you're going to want to bring in your cake mold. This here is my little kind of donut hole cake mold. I think this is specifically made for bundt cakes. I'm really not sure, but this is what I'm using today. So the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure that the inside of your cake mold is completely moist and greased. I used butter. Now, one thing that I really do enjoy doing with this cake in particular is before I actually go and put the batter into the mold, I'm going to cover entirely the area that we greased with butter with sugar. And I definitely don't mean like a thick layer of sugar. I just mean a little bit, just sprinkle it all around so that when the cake is done, it has kind of like a sweet, crispy outside. So now we're going to start adding the batter into the cake mold, but you're only going to add half the amount. So all you're going to do with the sugar and cinnamon is just cover the entire surface of where you just put that cake batter, and you want it to be a nice even layer, because what happens is we're going to put more batter on top of it, and then when you cut into your cake, when it's done, it's going to be like this crispy but also kind of gooey cinnamon sugar middle part, and it's so good. Alright, so now all we have to do is add the rest of the cake batter. Alright, so your cake is ready to go in the oven. Now, the baking instructions for this are a little bit more specific than just put it in and wait. So you're going to put it in at 400 degrees Fahrenheit. You're going to let it bake for 8 minutes, and then you're going to turn the heat down to 350 degrees Fahrenheit, which I believe is also 175 degrees Celsius. With the lowered heat setting, you're going to bake that for about 40 minutes. Keep checking on it around the time that you think it's going to be ready, because you want to be putting in toothpicks or maybe putting in just a knife. It really depends on what you prefer, until it comes out completely clean. Then you know your cake is done. Alright, so while our cake is baking, we can move on to the icing. This is totally optional. I'm actually going to be putting the icing in a bowl in the fridge and then putting it on as I eat the cake, but you can put it right on the cake if you like. Either one works. So for the ingredients, you're going to be needing vanilla extract, cream cheese, powdered sugar, and butter. Now your first step is going to be taking 6 tablespoons of butter, putting it in a medium saucepan on medium heat on your stove, and melting it until it turns from a nice yellow to a nice golden shade. So I've already done that, and I have my melted butter right here next to me, so we can move right on to the next step. So we're going to start by adding our melted butter into our medium-sized mixing bowl. Now we're going to want to add in the cream cheese, and you're going to need half a cup of cream cheese. Now mix it all together. so our next step is going to be adding the icing sugar. So you're going to need 4 cups of powdered icing, and we're going to do the same thing that we did with the cake with the alternating of ingredients. So you're going to add a little bit of icing sugar, and then you're going to add a tablespoon of milk until you've had all 4 cups of your icing sugar. One more ingredient to go. All you need is 1.5 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Add that in, mix it all together, and we're done. Alright, so now that our icing is done, you can either immediately put it on the cake so that it gets all melty and warm as soon as the cake is out of the oven, or you can do what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put it in a container, put that in the fridge, and just apply it as necessary. Alright, you guys, that is it. Our cake is done. I'm going to pop it out of the mold onto a little bit of a serving plate to let it cool, and then we can either ice it now or ice it later. That's up to you. So here you have it, guys. We have our cake. I'm super excited to eat this. It's definitely way too hot, but I'm very excited that I got to do my first baking video with you guys. I really hope that you guys enjoyed it and that you want to try this recipe out yourself. In my opinion, it's just like cinnamon delicious goodness. It does go great with coffee as well, so if you guys are big coffee drinkers like me, then you are going to love this cake. If you love cinnamon rolls, you're gonna love this cake. If you love anything just like delicious, you're going to love this cake. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. I would love to see you guys down below in the comment section, whether you're just saying hello, because I do love to chat with you guys, or if you want to leave me some recommendations for videos you'd like to see me film, I would definitely love to hear those as well. So thanks for watching, and I will see you all in my next video. Bye!